Welcome back to the Bryan Devore Connection. I'm your host, Bryan Devore. Unfortunately, we've seen a rise in depression, especially among seniors over the last couple of years with the pandemic, and we want to help our seniors avoid depression. So how can we help people work through depression as they age? Well, no better person to talk about that than my friend Kim Shea. Kim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here today.
My pleasure. So you have a very extensive background in this subject matter. Tell us a little about yourself and how you got into this.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I run a company called Game Changing Counseling Services, and I started being aware of people and their mental health issues several years ago when I was taking care of a friend who was dying from a terminal illness, and just seeing how little things would affect his mood because he suffered from depression, and things that could help him take back his life and his purpose, and it really was helpful to him. Then I started working in a skilled nursing community, and I was involved in activities, and again trying to find things that would help people feel like they still had a reason to be here and coping with their depression and their anxiety. It's pretty common as people get older. It's not normal, it's just common for people to have issues as they're aging. And so there are things that people can do to take steps to help themselves feel better or to try to achieve maybe complete happiness.
Great.
That's the goal.
So when you and I were talking, we sort of dialed it down into, sort of the 5 best practices, so to speak. So let's talk about the first one. Let's talk about staying connected to other people.
That is probably one of the most important things that you can do. And one thing that COVID really brought up for people is how serious a problem loneliness is. And a lot of people came inside their homes and then they had no connections except on Facebook and other social media outlets. They could stay connected to people that way. Thank God we had it. But it really highlighted for people how much of a problem loneliness is. It's so important to stay connected to other people. And loneliness kills. It makes people sick. It's so important to find some way to stay connected with people. Animals are great, but it's not the same thing as the energy you get from being around other people.
I've heard a statistic that said that being isolated and being alone is equivalent to smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. That's huge when you think about that impact it has on someone's life.
Yeah, it is huge. And if you've already got mental health issues, if you struggle with depression, anxiety, being by yourself is going to make it worse. I mean, sometimes it feels like you just want to push everybody away and be by yourself, but being with other people that you like is going to lift you up. It just has that natural effect. It increases your endorphins and just helps you to feel better.
Yeah, as a human race, we are designed to be connected to people.
Exactly.
We're also designed to move. And number 2 on the list is exercise.
Exercise is a really good thing you can do, and studies have shown, number 1, it increases your endorphins. It also improves your confidence when you start moving and doing exercise, and it doesn't have to be anything big. You don't have to train for a triathlon or anything like that. You can take care of your house. You can work vigorously to keep your house clean. You can go out and walk with friends, which helps you to stay connected with other people. That's another benefit of being active, is you can usually find ways to connect with other people while you're staying active. It helps your heart, and it's very good for your brain health.
Yeah, I just read another study that talks about, strength training and just general movement. We are designed to move, and it can add years to your life. So from the mental perspective, and from the physical perspective as well, helping you live healthier.
Absolutely, and for women, moving and building up their strength in their bones by walking, doing those types of exercises that are weight bearing, it can really help build up your bone strength. It can help your balance. It's all really good for you.
Yeah.
And if you could do 30 minutes a day, a few times a week, that's great. But if you've never exercised before, start small, set little goals, decide you're going to do something for 15 minutes and work your way up.
Build yourself up.
Ideally, if you can get to an hour and 10 minutes a day, that's really the best for your health, and it's very, very good for your brain.
Yeah, that's great. So of the list, I love all of these, but the next one's my favorite one, helping others.
People don't always realize that helping other people, and when you're feeling depressed and you're having mental health issues, it's sometimes hard to think beyond yourself. You can't help it. You're stuck in a loop. But when you get out and you help other people, you get more from that than you do actually doing the work. You get more from other people. You often feel like if you talk to people who volunteered, they'll say, I got more from that than I gave to other people. And it carries you, it buoys you for several days usually afterwards, because you know what a difference you made.
Absolutely. I try to teach that to my kids. They're 20 and 21, so they're young men as they're making their way through the world, and I try to impress upon them, just try it. do for other people, volunteer, what have you, and you can see the difference when you see how it's affecting other people's lives. It fills you up, it fills your cup as well. And they say if you're ever feeling down, do something for someone else. And it's amazing how easily that does actually work.
It really does, and it can pull you out of your own head. And that's the problem with mental health a lot of times, is you get stuck in where you are, and you can't help it. You're just focusing on how bad you feel. But you go out and help other people, and all of a sudden you feel good about yourself knowing you helped other people, and then you get something because you can see what you did for other people.
Right, yeah. Last couple topics are more clinical. So number 4, see your doctor.
Definitely see your doctor. And of course, a lot of people want to try and solve things themselves. That's the kind of era we live in. We go on the computer and we figure out, well, what can I do? How can I fix this? It's always good to try that and to do all the steps that we just mentioned before. But talk to your doctor. There are so many things that can be done for people for any kind of a mental illness. And there are so many different medications available out there. And so talk to your doctor, and if you're taking something or the doctor prescribes something that isn't working for you, you have to go back. You have to advocate for yourself and say, this isn't working, or it worked for 6 weeks, but now it's not working. You have to be persistent until you can find something that is working for you.
Yeah, and number 5 is taking your prescription medication.
You have to take your prescription medications. For a lot of people, they start saying, I'm actually feeling pretty good now. I don't think I need these anymore.
Right.
It's really a common thing that people do, but it's really best if you can stay on your medication.
Right.
It's in your best interest to stay on your medication, because then it puts you on a level playing field with everybody else. Then you're able to go about and start living your life and feel better about it.
Right. But like you said, if you don't feel it's working for you, be your own advocate. Maybe you need to take something else, because there may be 3 different other types of medicine that can help with it, and maybe that one's not right for you, so maybe another one is the better fit.
Absolutely. Everybody's body chemistry is different, and so you just have to go in there and say, this didn't work, and that tells the doctor something. This one was close, but maybe this class is close, but maybe it needs to be this particular drug right here. And it's a challenge, because you will probably have to get off of that medication, tapering off of it, and then get back on the other one and build that one back up in your system. So it can take months to find the right drug, but you have to be patient and just keep advocating for yourself, stand up for yourself, and you deserve it. And that's another thing that will help you with your mental health, is to feel empowered that you're doing something for yourself and doing something about your mental health.
Right. Well, change doesn't happen overnight, and
Right.
probably if you got into this depressive state, that wasn't overnight either. So take some time, do these tips. For more information, you want to call Kim or visit her website. Her information's on the screen. And you can learn all about those types of services, and you can talk with her about maybe scheduling some time with her as well. Kim, those were game-changing tips from Game Changing Counseling Services. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me on, Brian.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.